Well, good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to be back. George Morgan here at your service. It's PSGL, it's Wednesday night, it's Spain tonight as well. Lots on the table, lots of battling. The title contest is still alive and kicking. And Jack, it's only taken us 10 rounds. We're on the 11th. It's all to play for.
Boromant goes on the inside and takes the lead on the final lap of the race. Now it's side by side between Boromant and Warner, but Boromant's got the inside.
A guest star here in this phenomenal race. Cameron Dowd looking to take P2 in his very first PSGL F1 PC race. Incredible to say the least. You see that Putin still lead. 1.5 seconds. DRS is the name.
Good evening, everybody. Wrong camera angle. Welcome to PSGL. It is race day. Time for lobby 2 of the social races. Unfortunately, Epic Freestyle, I couldn't make it today, so I am by myself. But that's okay, because I am very excited. It is Zandvoort. We did have a few last week, as we've been doing for the past few weeks, so hopefully we got a lot more exciting action to come. We'll take a look at the track that these guys are going to be driving on today. It is Zandvoort. It is a track not the best known for overtaking, but we've seen some real life good racing by drivers like Fernando Alonso, those drivers that can really get those aggressive heads on, which I do think we see quite a lot in these games. Obviously, 3 sectors, 4.2 kilometers, 14 turns, 2 DRS zones, 3 DRS zones. 2 DRS zones, sorry. So not really much space to overtake. Real overtaking options are turn 1. That's, I would say, the main one. The rest of them, you kind of have to do proper dive bombs, just launching it down the inside. There's a lot of fast corners, famous for its banked final corner, which is really cool to see. Really cool to see the cars driving on that. So I'm certainly looking forward to that. So we do have the guys in the lobby, so we will cut to qualifying. There we go. So we do the first few drivers on the out laps. I believe some are already starting their flying laps. We are in the F1 World Cars due to the ongoing tyre wear issue. So fingers crossed it is fixed, but we do currently have turning left, exiting that banked corner as well. Another famous corner. You often see drivers taking all the different lines there, so it's interesting to see where certain drivers can capitalise and where certain drivers may lose out. So you go through the fast section. Really important to keep the minimum speed high here. Don't ride the curb too much because it's really risky. If you risk, losing the car on the curb. Then going into this long corner, going onto the DRS straight. As we're going to approach the hairpin, it is really difficult to overtake in this hairpin. I think it's in the chicane. It's a tight entry. Not really much room because it's quite a narrow track. There's not really much room to do overtakes, but not been a bad lap so far. We're going to go on to the famous bank corner. The DRS goes open. You've got to make sure your car is stable there, because if you're opening the DRS on a banked corner and you're turning right, you're going to lose the rear wing. Meanwhile, left does go on provisional pole position with an 8 flat. Bentz behind him went on a 1081. Felipe Sousa's just also done a 1081. Thomas Gall has just gone first with a 1079, so very close at the top two there. And Jeremy Glenroy has done a 1083. Ben Marples, I believe, has just done a 108.2. We'll follow on with Jack West now. Jack West coming through Sector 1, exiting the first of the banked corners in the track. Miltos Karafoulidis goes P3 with also a 108 flat, 108.049. So about half a tenth, just over half a tenth off Thomas Gall, who's done a 107.991. In the meantime, Jack West looking very quick as he is in Sector 2 at the moment. I think he did set a purple Sector 1 or Sector 2, if I'm not mistaken. He's in Sector 2, so it must have been a Sector 1. He's got a bit of traffic ahead of him, but going into the chicane, heavy braking zone. He's done a purple Sector 2, apparently. If the game is to be trusted, which it is sometimes, and it sometimes isn't. So getting the power down, braking not too much for this final corner, getting the DRS open, taking the fastest racing line as you can. DRS open, crossing the line, and can he challenge the top spots? He can. He's only 3 thousandths off second place, but he does go third with a 108.014. We'll follow on with Zerky, I believe, is on a lap. He's just started a flying lap going towards the bank corner, and that's traffic for Zerky. That's going to put him off. Not sure how much time that may have cost him in terms of just where the car is, but that's certainly going to have put him off in terms of where he's driving, in terms of distracting him. It does say he's done a purple Sector 1 though. I don't know if these are to be trusted, but I feel like because it seems like everyone's got a purple sector so far, I'm going to assume that it's probably not right. Anyway, going through the middle sector onto the final DRS straight. Not the final DRS straight, the first DRS straight. Or second, depending on if you count the first one. Anyway, heading towards the chicane, making sure you get the entry going over the curb, but not too much, and you also don't want to compromise your entry into the second part of the chicane, but he's got a good exit from that. Going into the final corner, braking as little as possible, having the highest minimum speed, getting the power down, going on the inside of the banking. Tyre temps will be going crazy during that corner, going up the gears, crossing the line. It's only good enough for P15, so not a very good lap. Must have had a horrible first or second sector that I didn't really realise. Anyway, Andre Lopez going through the final corner. Again, tyre temperatures are going to be mighty high in that final corner, so definitely watch out for that in the race as he crosses the line. He goes P4 with a 108.038, and I believe it's just Lillian, F2 driver last season, going through the final corner to try and challenge for those top spots. We know he's quick, so definitely looking to see if he can challenge for those top spots as he comes across the line. And it is only good enough for P7, but it's so close. You have about P1 to P7 all within a tenth of each other, so they're really, every hundredth does count as a potential position gain. Anyway, I believe we have left either about to start his lap. Yeah, he's just turned on his ERS, so I'm going to assume he is about to cross the line to start his lap. As he heads towards turn 1. Again, a heavy braking zone, but not as heavy as other hairpins, as you can carry quite a lot of minimum speed through that hairpin, as he does get the power down, getting the fastest line through these series of corners onto the bank corner, taking the inside line to try and minimize the distance that the car needs to cover. Getting a good exit onto the hill here, up the hill and then down the hill. So easy to invalidate or make a mistake or go on the curb or go wide here. So easy to do that, but he's done that really well. Cutting across this inside curb as he goes way too wide on the exit, and that is going to be the lap ruin. So mistakes are so easy to make here. With the new curb physics, you can see going over it really cost him his lap, so that's very unfortunate for him. But we'll follow along with Tamascal. Tamascal currently in P1, hoping to defend that as he tries to gain now. Going through the middle sector, we'll see what he can do. Sorry. As he goes onto the DRS straight, not going too wide, but really maximising the track. Got a lot of traffic ahead of him, but luckily they're moving out the way very nicely. Braking just after the curb starts and getting the car rotated nicely. You really got to have the confidence going into that corner to really maximise the speed that you can get. Exiting the final corner now, crossing the line. We'll see what he can do. As he goes P1 with a 107.970, so a little improvement, but it is an improvement nonetheless. And Floris Weegers, I want to say, goes P2 with a 107.982. I think I missed that as it happened. Anyway, we do still have people on laps. Miltos Karafalidis, I believe, is starting his flying lap, going through the first sector, exiting the banked corner. As he approaches the hill, going up it, trying to get the car rotated nicely. He's got traffic ahead of them, but I don't think the traffic's going to really get in the way. As we head towards the fast right-hander, fast left-hander, then a fast right-hander, using all the track possible before we go into the DRS straight. You see the car snaking around the track as it tries to follow the racing line. When you've got a lot of quick corners, it really does cause that sort of snaking effect. Going into the chicane now, as he's currently about half a tenth up. So given by what we've seen, that's going to gain him quite a lot if he can just keep it steady in this final part of the lap, going through the bank corner, getting the power down as he goes towards the line. As he has gone very wide, I think he might have messed up there, and he is into the pits. So not sure what happened, but unfortunately he is in the pits. Probably a mistake on that final corner. Alexander Dimas is currently on a lap as he's looking to gain positions. He's only less than 2 tenths away from P1, so as we said before, this lobby is incredibly close. He is currently 10th down, so not the best start of the lap for Alexander Dimas. We'll see if he continues with it. Actually, I'll turn the telemetry on so we can see that. Richie, hello.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining me. That is awesome. Let me just screen share.
Hey. If needs be, I can hop myself into lobby. Hello, everyone. You might have just saw me in lobby 1. We're back into, well, I'm joining lobby 2 now. As we come down to, well, luckily, I didn't miss too much of qualifying. That's a great one. But yeah, cheers. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm recovering. I've been away yesterday, and I've not got much sleep. So this is quite a track. So I'm glad you're here. Can I invite you, or do I need to shoot screen share?
You can invite me if you can. I'll try and get myself in. I think I have a couple of drivers on my friends list, so I'll try and get myself into lobby. But yeah, it's been a bit of a transition from lobby 1 to lobby 2.
I don't think I'd be friended, so you might have to try and join if you can. If not, I'll add you as a friend.
I'll join through Floris.
As we do have a new purple lap set by Jack West with a 107.919. So Jack West really making up those positions. We've seen how close the grid is so far. The entire lobby, Richie, is separated by about, I mean, the bulk of it is about, what, 3 tenths? That's 1st to 16th. So it's incredibly close with these guys.
Yeah, in our lobby, 1st to 15th was in 3 tenths as well, so it was really close.
Yeah, it's the high standard of racing. It really is amazing to see, especially when these guys have no assists. I don't think they have any assists. I'm not 100% sure of the rules, but it is amazing how close they can be, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. In our lobby, we had the person in 2nd and 3rd DNF on the final lap after having an incident. They went 3 wide at turn 2, so that was an interesting one. We'll see if that happens here. I wouldn't be surprised. It's a thin track, so when you go 2 and 3 wide, someone's going to end up coming out in a bad way.
For sure. We do have left currently on a lap, left within a tenth of P1, but Jack West's time is going to be something to try and beat as left going through the second sector now. The fast right-hander maximising the track as much as he can. It does get a little snap of oversteer. We've seen these mistakes really do cost you time, especially when it's so close. They're going to cost you positions. So hopefully it was only a minor mistake. Approaching the chicane now, braking just off the curve. He is currently half a tenth up, so he's doing a really good job so far. Maximising the track again, heading towards the final corner, getting it hooked in, hitting the apex, and just getting the power down. DRS is open. We'll see as he hugs the line. How is he going to be able to move up positions? Where is he going to go? He goes P2, only 1,000th off P1. Oh, he's going to be heartbroken. That's so unfortunate for him, but still a really good lap.
Yeah, and Tamas Gal's up as well. He's up by 40 thousandths of a second. He's coming through out to turns 11 and 12, headed up in towards turn 13 before hitting Ari Lindike at turn 14. We'll see what he can do. Tamas, a very quick driver. I think he was actually the quickest on the PSGL sign-ups as well. That was tweeted out earlier, so he's definitely one to look out for. Up to the line, what will it be for Tamas Gal? P1 by a tenth of a second.
Wow, that is a big gap. Much bigger than what we've seen so far. We have Floris Weegers. I'm going to guess that's Forrest Weigers is what I'm going for. 2/10 up currently on his time. Wow, that's gonna... If he finishes this, that will be a 107.7. So, wow, can he continue this? That's gonna be some of a lap if he can. He does have the DRS open as we go through the final corner. Is this going to be good enough to go for pole position? Yes, it is, and it is a 107.757. A monumental lap. Call it track evolution, but that is also an insane pace by Floris Riders there. He's going to be ecstatic with that lap, so very well done to him.
Yeah, I think Floris is one we expect to see very quick. Same with Tamas Gal, two very quick drivers. Obviously, Floris, former esports back in 2019 when he drove for Haas. Tamas, he's been moving his way up very quickly from F4 to F3 to F2 in the matter of about 6 months. So yeah, they're really quick drivers, and I think. Look at this lobby. I think they're a bit of an outlier. You see some of the names and you look at them and they're just way ahead. I think Tamas was meant to be in lobby 1, but he couldn't make lobby 1, so he went to lobby 2. And that is someone going slow down the straight. I'm not sure who that was. I think that's Kodon Ingolo, who's sitting in P9. But yeah, obviously I'm joining here late. Is there anyone so far you think, apart from the top 2, we should be keeping our eye on?
It's kind of difficult to tell. They've only really done like 2 laps. So... I mean, in terms of drivers I know Lillian was really quick last game. Andre Lopez was quick last game. Miltos Carafalides, those guys were all in F3 last season, as well as a few others that were near the top. But yeah, there's not really too much that I really know about the drivers to give that sort of insight. But we'll see.
I've noticed pretty much the Cloudchich in this lobby. He was in my lobby. And he DNF'd, so he's going for a double race, it seemed. Pretty much McLeodchich in P16, he was in my lobby and DNF'd in the race.
Wow.
Well.
You're maximising the time, isn't
it? Yeah, exactly. And it's the only reason why Zerkin and Noel are on 108.7s, because that's quite far off, isn't it, from the rest of the field? It's like, what, 4 or 5 tenths off?
Yeah. It's quite far.
I presume they just haven't got the laps in the need, but
yeah,
I'm just looking through. P6 to P12, about 40 thousandths of a second, and 2 minutes and 28 seconds remaining. Look at them all now, just firing out the pits altogether. This could be chaos at the final corner. Left did spun round, and I believe that is Conor Muir as well. But obviously, it's just a different name on Steam. I believe it is.
Okay. Yeah, this is that's a 5-place grid penalty for Leolund for illegal blocking. I'm going to assume that that's a game glitch. So
yeah, we have 3 of those in ours.
Oh wow. I mean, we've seen it when all the drivers rush out on the last lap. I mean, are we going to get a Monza 2019 kind of thing? Is there any chance of not having some drivers start their laps? Possibly, because obviously they're all going to want a gap to not have the dirty air, or be put off by any mistakes that the guys ahead make. So definitely something to look out for, because there is a lot of drivers going on track at once, and unfortunately we can't see the time. Oh, there we go. It was about 1 minute 40 left. So the guys at the back might struggle if a lot of people are waiting.
Yeah. I think Noel's timed it perfectly, because obviously he's now not at risk of getting those penalties because he's sitting quite far back from everyone else. So he'll make it round in time, I think, but he's obviously going to sit back and just avoid those penalties that the game unfortunately gives out. And I believe the first one set of that will be
Miltos
one of them
Karafalidis, is
anyway.
it?
Oh yeah, he's heading down towards turn 1 now. Currently on a 108.049. That's a pretty decent lap, isn't it, there for Miltos?
Yep.
And it's only 4 thousandths between for 2 more positions. So if he can improve by 5 thousandths, he'll improve to P8. Just shows how close he's.
It's really insane how close it is. Heading towards the uphill section here. As I said earlier, really easy to make a mistake. He's currently 8 thousandths up. So that would put him in P8. So he's already done that bit. He's just got to keep it smooth and not make any mistakes as he goes through the right-hander towards the hairpin onto the DRS straight. Not really a hairpin, I suppose it is, but it's a very wide hairpin. You can carry a lot of speed through it as the DRS is wide open, heading towards the chicane, braking as late as possible, just trying to get the car rotated. He's currently 2 tenths up. So that's going to gain him a lot of positions if he can keep that gap as he goes through the final corner. I don't know the corner name, so I'm not even going to attempt that. But he does get the DRS wide open, goes past the banking, goes onto the grid. What can he do? He goes P3, so that's actually a really good lap there. A big improvement for him. I cannot tell his next left. Left goes P2 with a 107.802. I believe that's Thomas Gal about to cross the line as well. Can he challenge for pole position? No, he can't. And he actually crashes on the line, but he can't do anything. Jack West! Jack West goes pole position with a 107.6. That's a stunning lap from him. It's so difficult to tell who's who with all the different cars.
Yeah, Flores was 20 seconds staying in the second set to come through turn 9, got blocked completely and hit the wall on the exit. So that's ruined his time, and there's many times coming through now. Bent Sabaconi into P6, Alexander P7, Jeremy P8, Andres Lopez into the top 9, and I think that's Code Unigola not improving. So many drivers not improving on their times, and if they are, it's just a marginal improvement. Lillian coming up to line, can he get past the DNF car of Leo Lund? Yes, he can into the top 7 for Lillian. Many times coming through now, and I think, there's people being blocked left, right, and centre.
Yep, Primoz Milkovic, sorry if that's wrong, goes P13 with a 108 flat .061, as, I can't tell you, just crossed the line, and someone's just come into the pits. It's so difficult to tell who's who when they're all the F1 World cars. But I believe that is everyone. Yeah, that is everyone. So that is going to be your qualifying order. Jack West does get pole position with an amazing lap of a 107.684, so well done to him. Floris Wygers goes second, left goes third, Tamascal fourth, Miltos Karafalidis fifth, sixth is Bence, seventh Lillian, eighth Alexander Dimas, as Ben Marples. Ooh, I'm not sure where he was. Oh, he's 15th.
15th, yeah, so he'll be dropped to the back.
Yeah. That is unfortunate. I don't know why that happened, but it seems like the session was already over, so that seems a bit unfair.
Yeah, no, it's the F1 game. It likes to throw random things to us wherever it wants to.
It does. Maybe it felt it was a bit boring or something. Yeah, that's why there's a little upwards arrow on all the drivers. Oh, that's very unfortunate. But there is your final qualifying order. I think that's Alexander Dimas, so Jeremy Jin, Andre Lopez, Felipe Sousa, Kodor Ningolo, Primoz Miklavic. I'm missing all the names up. I'm very sorry. Leo Lund P14, Dehar Demisrioglu. He was in F3. I'm hoping to get that name right. Aljat in P16, Zerki P17, Nawiki in 18, Noel Carmen P19, and Ben Marples unfortunately got a disqualification and will be starting at the back of the grid. Also to mention, I think Leo Lund got the 5-place grid penalty, so he's moved down to P14. But your pole driver is Jack West as we head towards the race.
And let's look in the chat. Hello, Max. GG on the win. Well done from you. Obviously, witnessing that battle between was it Duncan and Harvey? I think was on the final lap, and obviously you got yourself through. So yeah, there we are. So we got the Lobby 1 race winner watching along. Will Jack West make himself the Lobby 2 race winner as well? I think he's got the pace, but Flores obviously could have been on for a great lap if he didn't get blocked down at turn 9.
Yeah, so
we've had someone lead the session.
Oh, let's hope he's all
That's
right.
not ideal.
Yeah, so we potentially have some pace that Floris Wygers may have had. How much did you say he was up before he hit the wall?
He was staying in the first sector, but he looked pretty quick in the second.
Okay.
So I believe he would have been up there. And I think on the lap that he set the 0.75, he did make a mistake coming through turn 10. So I think he would have gained maybe half a tenth or something. I think it would have been close between him and Jack.
Yeah, that's a shame then, but I mean, he is still second, so Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely still a fight on our hands. You know, you can make all sorts of positions on the starts. We're currently waiting for players. I found that waiting for players takes a long time because it's no longer a 30-second countdown, is it? It's now just says waiting for
No.
players, which always
Yeah.
makes me jump because I suddenly have to, you know, cut the start of it. Well,
Yeah. Well, it's
so
an odd one.
yeah, it's difficult to tell, but it's fine. It's fine. We'll see what strategies these guys do. We'll go through that. Is there a formation lap? Do you know?
Oh, is it because that? No, there isn't. I don't think. But is it
I
because
don't
that
know.
guy left, the Aljack guy? Is that because he left? Maybe because
Maybe.
we're still waiting, and he's joined back. So he's joined back just in time. But yeah, it's.
Oh, here we
There
go.
we go.
We do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go. As Felipe Superstar gets a drive-through bounty for a jump start. Cornoglu,
Oh.
I think, also might have, because he's somehow got into first. Jack West is in second. Flores Weeger's third. Jack West fighting Gonlu, for the first position as we go towards the banking, but he's not going to be able to do it just yet. A few overtakes, a few wide cars behind. Also looking to make positions. We have yellow flags as well, but looks to be all good. Ben Marples has already DNF'd, I believe, on the first corner. Noel Carmen
as well.
is just retired.
Safety car.
As we have a safety car.
Oh, so that's an interesting first lap. Keldon Ngolo. Well, I suppose that is one way to get yourself onto the top step.
Yeah.
Jump start by I think he jump started mega early. Same as Felipe
Well,
Sousa
he
as well.
started what, 12th? So that might have been.
Yeah.
You know, you can get like there was a glitch last game where the lights would just go off for different people at different times.
Oh, that could
So that-
be
yeah.
possible then. But if so, that's not good at all for Keldon. But at least he's in first. He's going to have to pit and drop to the back, but still, he had the lead for one lap. He took the lead to turn one.
Yeah, I
which
think
is
the
something.
game does let you take them under the safety car. I think so.
Miltos, he's dropped down to P11. He lost lots of positions. He lost 6 positions on the start, so I'm not sure what happened to him. And Lillian gained a couple of positions. Dimas gained a couple. So yeah, I suppose a pretty chaotic start. I remember seeing at one point that there's 4 wide coming through in towards turn 2. They all backed off each other, and that's someone. There's a
We
few,
do have some.
That was a dummy.
There was a dummy. There's someone did pit behind him though.
Miltos
there we
got
go.
released into the bits. Oh, did he get damaged? Maybe.
Oh, possibly. So the other guys, I don't think are taking the drive-through. So maybe you can't take them under the
Damage for
safety car.
Miltos. Yeah,
That's
you can
gonna
see his front
cost
wing
them.
being replaced.
Yeah. So
So
sorry.
5th to 16th.
it's unfortunate because obviously damage is something that is really going to cost them. Especially on a track where they call it like the Monaco of circuits, don't they? Along with Budapest. It's
Yeah.
difficult to overtake here, so losing all that track position is really going to affect him. So that's really unfortunate for him. Also unfortunate for those guys who got to drive through for whatever reason that happened. So yeah, unfortunately that happens. Oh well, we're going to have to move on. They're going to have to just try and live with it and try and make up positions back. We know they have pace in comparison to the guys ahead. You know, if you're dropping down 12 positions, you're clearly faster than the other guys, as you were on quali.
Yeah. Well, I've always said this track's a bit like Hungary and Monaco in one. You got the tight corners like Monaco, but then Hungary's obviously a bit like Monaco as well, but it's got a lot wider walls, which is basically this track. I'll just say it's a mix of the two. But this is my favourite type of track. I love these thin, twisty tracks. It really puts your skills of being able to just keep the car on track to maximum. You've got to make sure you're doing perfect laps. Because on a track like Silverstone, yes, you can go wide and spin, but you'll spin off onto a bit of grass.
Yep.
Here, if you spin, you're into a wall. So, there's such little margin for error around a track like this.
Yeah, that's very true. I guess that's the thing with these tight tracks. You've got to be careful, and it's so easy as well with the curbs on the outside. It's not this circuit specifically, but just in the game in general, you have those sorts of curbs where, like, halfway through the curb, it's raised because it like dips down, and then that ends up really bottoming out the car. So that also doesn't help, along with all the walls that you could go into. So I think we saw that in qualifying. I can't remember exactly who it was, but someone went onto the curbs and ended up ruining that whole lap. I think that might have been Jack West, actually. So,
And obviously,
yeah.
As well, on this track, there's lots of rear locking, isn't there? On this game in general, there's lots of rear locking. When
Yeah.
you have corners like turn 3, it's really easy to rear lock into there, and you lose 6-7 seconds because it's such a slow corner. You spin halfway around, you've got to get the car back round, but because of that many people coming through, you've got to make sure you don't get hit as well through there.
Yeah.
Because ghosting seems to be something that turns on and off when it wants to. Sometimes it's fine, but I did
Yeah.
a race on Tuesday, and I think the first 2 people ghosted. The third one just smashed into him. So
Yeah, I think I had a race
yeah.
that I was doing, and actually that was a different game. Never mind. I forget what I'm saying. But yeah, no, what you said about the rear locking is actually a really good point. It's so important on this game to actually, like, if you want to be at the quickest, the top level, you've got to be changing your brake bias pretty much corner to corner, depending on obviously what track it is. But I'm not sure exactly how it is on this track, but I assume it's similar to that. So that's also something that these drivers have got to focus on, if they want to do that in the race, as well as fighting, as well as keeping the pace up. So it's definitely something to take in mind. But we do have the safety car in this lap. We'll see when Kadornigolu wants to go, but I think he's going to have to pull into the pits to serve his drive-through now. If not, he's got to wait 3 laps. So we will see when he goes, but we've got to more focus on Jack West and Floris Wyges since that is for position. So we'll go on board with Jack West on this restart. Kadornigolu, maybe he's going to leave it late. I mean, if he's going to go into the pits, why not leave it late, in all honesty? So we'll see. Maybe he doesn't pull into the pits. No, he's choosing to wait 3 laps then. And he does go, and we'll see. Has anyone got the jump on Jack West or Kadornigolu? Doesn't seem like it. In fact, Thomas Gal and Floris Wyges will be going side by side into turn 1. So Floris Wyges. But that's actually cost Thomas Gal position to Lillian, since Lillian's able to fit in that gap as they go side by side. Thomas Gal has to back out, so that he's now lost. I think that was 2 positions on that restart. So really unfortunate for him. We do have drivers behind fighting left, and Alexander Dimas going side by side as we head towards the hill. Someone out. 2 people spin behind. I think that's Felipe Sousa and Damehar Demitrioglu. One without a front wing. I'm not sure how Felipe Sousa is though. Up ahead, I think Alexander Dimas got that position from left as we have a VSC.
Yeah, that isn't. Well, we've had I think 1 total lap of racing. We had half a lap on lap 1, and we had half a lap again on lap 4. So we've had 1 lap of racing in 4 laps. And also, the weird thing is for me, Dihar, who's in 18th, for me, is called KSSD Pompasson. He's got a complete different name for me.
What position, sorry?
Oh, and it's a safety car.
Oh.
Dihar. He's called KSSD Pompasson for some reason for me.
That's odd.
Completely different name. Well, oh, there we are. Safety car 2. The second safety car on lap 4.
I'm hoping this doesn't start to become a pattern.
Yeah, it's not ideal. I hope there's a maximum. I think the maximum is 3. And if it's not, this could be a very long night.
Oh, is there a maximum now? Is that a new thing?
I thought there was. I thought there was a maximum of 3. I also thought there was a maximum.
I did not know that.
But, well, let's hope there is anyway.
Well,
yeah. Well, Coldorn. The thing is, if he's got to serve his so obviously he's got to serve a drive-through within 3 laps.
yeah.
I suppose it doesn't. I suppose the 3 laps don't count down when it's a safety car. So he's still technically got 2 laps to serve it. But obviously, when the safety car's in, you can't serve a drive-through under a safety car or a VSC.
Yep.
So he's keeping the lead for a lot longer because of these safety cars. He should have been in the pits by lap 3. He's now lap 5, still leading with the drive-through penalty he got on.
Does
lap
he
1.
get an extra 3 laps after this as well? Then does it like reset?
No, I think it just adds up. So obviously, lap 1, technically that was lap he could. Actually, no, because the safety car was in at lap 1. So I think he's still got those 3 laps remaining because he was never green flags at the pit lane because lap 1 we was under safety car. Then lap 4 we was still technically under yellow flags until the start line, which is after the pit lane. So I think he's still got 3 laps left to serve it.
I mean, is it worth staying out and trying to build a gap at this point? It
could be lap 9.
Yeah, so definitely an interesting development on that aspect. Yeah, I'm not sure what he's going to do. You could play it strategically and try and go longer. I mean, if other people have like collisions and stuff, it could be worth waiting. But I mean, I don't know. It's not really necessary. I don't know. It's difficult to tell. It
is. I think it's going to be an interesting one. Actually, I haven't looked at the tyres yet. So, Lillian's on the softs.
Oh.
Lefton and Jeremy on the mediums. So that's interesting with the strategy. Obviously, Coden's also on the mediums, but he doesn't matter because he's going to pit anyway by lap 9. So, yeah, this is it. So, what's happened? We've got people pitting. Lillian's ahead of Floris. What's happened there? I'm sure Lillian was behind Floris.
Maybe Floris went off. I didn't exactly see what happened. But we do have Dehar in the pits again, fitting on some mediums. Interesting strategy call, but go for it, I guess.
To old mediums as well.
That's a good point. Maybe he wants to stick with the medium to hards, but now he's done his change. But I don't know. I mean, to be fair, there is a group of hard runners in front of him. If he's on the mediums, he does have that advantage, and he can still stick to his normal strategy, especially because he would have been last anyway. So, yeah.
Oh, and that's Floris and Tamash fighting for position. So Floris, he's lost a position to Lillian, loses one temporarily to Tamash. What's going on here? Hopefully, it's no desync. Obviously, with Lillian on the soft, so ideally he wants to get himself ahead of Jack West when the safety car goes in. So obviously, yes, he's been on the soft for 5 laps, but obviously with the safety cars, they're going to have hardly any degradation on them. So yeah, Lillian's going to be looking in a decent position to take the lead temporarily. He'll have to pit earlier than everyone else, go into a set of hards, and it could work out well for him, depending when he pits. And the safety car, yet again, he's in this lap. So lap 6 of 36, we have the second safety car on its way in.
Yeah. Well, here we go then. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen. On this restart, we've seen Lillian on the softs. Can he do something with that? Jack West needs to... I mean, if Kodon Nigolu... I'm gonna call him Kodor because otherwise I'm gonna struggle every single time. If Kodor decides to slow Jack down a bit, obviously unconsciously, like so not on purpose, that could potentially cost Jack West positions to Lillian. So we'll see what happens. Kodor goes way earlier than he did last time. Jack West, unfortunately, not really close enough at the start, but he has got a good run on him. He's using battery as well, so he does try and go down the inside as they go side by side through turn 1. Jack West gets the car rotated nicely, and they have to go side by side towards this twisty section, towards the banking. It's all going to be about the exit from this banking, but he's actually made the position before the banking, and Lillian has just swiped through into P2, so really capitalising on that battle. And now Kodor is fighting with Floris Weigers, and Floris Weigers gets ahead as well. So Kodor going from first to fourth in less than a sector, as I believe Left and Alexander Dimas are fighting for P6 at the moment. Jeremy Glynn and Alexander Dimas fighting as they go side by side, and they do make contact, and that is Jeremy Glynn spun around. So they went side by side through that section and just ended up making contact. It just wasn't going to work, and I think Primoz Miklovic also spun around there, losing a few positions. So that's going to be unfortunate for those. Meanwhile, Jack West has got a lead of about 2/10 to Lillian on the softs. Lillian's soft 6 laps old. I'm not 100% sure about the tyre life on this track, but I know it's not long. 6 laps, I believe, is the start of sort of the crossover point. But Lillian does seem to have a good run as he sets the fastest lap, and he's going to try and go down the inside of Jack West into turn 1. Can he do it before the twisty section to try and gain it? No, he can't, because the outside line, you just have so much more speed. But Lillian does manage to slot the car through before the banking section, and he does get into the lead. So it's his time to push now, use that tyre advantage, and try and gain a gap on the hard and medium runners behind. I mean, potentially... It's 36 laps. I think you'd struggle doing softer hards on this circuit. So I don't think he's going to do that. So he's kind of just got himself into first. And I guess we have to see what happens in that aspect now. We do start to have a group forming, first to fourth. Sort of making, or first to fifth even. I think starting to form a bit of a train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think softer hard is possible, but he needs to pit around lap 14. By the time he gets to lap 14, he'll be a lot slower. So if he can try, if anything, he needs to get a 1 second gap and maintain. If he can't, he's going to drop positions. But if he can get that 1 second, this strategy could work out very well for him. Where did he start? Let's have a little look. So Lillian started. Where was it? Was it 6th or 7th? I think it was qualifying.
7th.
So yeah, this could work really well. I think he could be looking for a top 5 either way, because look now, the gap's 8.9 tenths of a second as they come into turn 1. The gap's over 9 tenths. If you can get to a second before the next DRS zone, which remember is down at turn 11, he's got so much more. He's got lots of time still to get that 1 second gap. As they come through the low speed corners of turn 3, up through turns 4 and 5, the gap's just over 9 tenths of a second. You can see Jack's used a lot of battery. Jack and Lillian have used over 70% of their battery. Floris is on 60%. Tamash is on 50%. So Jack is having to push really hard just to keep this DRS, because he knows if he loses that DRS, he's in a really troubling situation now. As they head through into turns 9 and 10, I think he might just keep that DRS as they come through. Obviously, the DRS activation zone is there. He's got the DRS, so he's saved it for this lap. But yeah, he's really struggling to hold on to the back of Lillian.
Yeah, certainly having to burn all of his battery, and the gap is still at 9 tenths. So, I mean, you can see how hard he's pushing. He's 2 tenths up from last lap, really trying to push as much as he can. I think he just has made DRS, though. So, I mean, it depends. I don't think it's worth it, in all honesty, because he might have burnt it all now, and he might be in DRS now, but next lap it's really unlikely. Given the difference in ERS, they both have, I think Lillian's got about 20%, I think Jack West has got about 20% as well, just looking at the steering wheel. So, I mean, it depends when the softs are going to drop off as well. That's certainly going to be a factor. I mean, to be fair, Jack West has made about 3/10 in this first sector.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe the
Great
softs
job.
are starting to degrade a bit. Lillian maybe can't, or maybe Lillian is using a bit less ERS as well, potentially. So, yeah, Lillian actually losing more time as well. So we're potentially starting to struggle with the tyre wear. Flores Wide, meanwhile, and Thomas Gao and Left, they're still in that group just behind. You can see them there, and then it's Bentz in 6th, who is about 2.5 seconds away. So he doesn't have DRS either. But back at the top, Jack West is within 3/10 of Lillian. He had the DRS on that straight, and he's ready to try and pounce if he's going to. If those softs are starting to slow him down, I mean, if Jack West is able to slow Flores down and Jack is able to get past, then sorry, if Lillian is able to slow Flores down and Jack's able to get past and try and make up some time, that could potentially work out really well for him. He does it like he's got a good run on Lillian, and he is going to try and go for the move. No, he's not. He dummies it and ends up staying in P2 for now. So he does have to stay behind for now. Flores is also really close behind. That train starting to close in a bit, as I think Lillian is really struggling, really starting to struggle with tyres.
Yeah, I think Jack knows Lillian's in a worse position at the moment, so he'll just sit back for now, pull along with the DRS. You can see if he can get maybe moved into turn 11 or turn 1, he'll go for it next time. But I think for now, it's just fine for him just to sit back and gain that battery. Because remember, he's on about 20%. He's down 30, so he's gained that battery back. Flores, however, is on 60%. So Flores has got double the battery to Jack. So, Jack's now, he can't use that much battery to pass Lillian. Otherwise, he's going to build himself under more of an issue. Was Lillian pits and he ends up leading the pack. Lillian's on 19% battery, so he's used a little bit less on this lap. But I think, yeah, Lillian, if he can hold it in for the 4 laps, he can pit onto some hard to make it to the end, which is going to be a struggle. It's going to be a big struggle, but I think he can to that. Obviously, Jack West, Flores on the hards, they're going to want to pit around lap 18, lap 19 maybe, onto a set of medium tyres. And obviously the medium tyres want to pit around lap 15, lap 16 as well. As now we go down to turn 1. Jack West up the inside, takes the lead temporarily from Lillian, but also Flores was going to look for a move as well. Then at turn 1, can he get through on Lillian? No, he can't. So now Flores is going to get through on Lillian ASAP, otherwise he's going to be under heavy compromisation when Jack pulls away.
I think I saw Jack West sliding as we went through the banking there. But yeah, Lillian definitely struggling with tyres now. But if he can hold on about 2 more laps after this one, then he is within the strategy. We also know that undercut's really important, so I'm not sure if 14 is the stint lap or if that's like the earliest you can pit. But undercut's also a big thing. But then also stretching those tyres, around 20 laps is also it could be difficult. But then again, if the softs can go 14 laps, the hards should easily be able to go 20 laps. So if he can just use the DRS, if he can just manage his battery efficiently, he could really capitalise on this strategy. Considering he started in 7th as. Is that a safety car? Virtual safety car is Primo's.
It seems like he just went straight into the wall by himself.
Yeah, we'll see where it is on track.
It's a safety car. I can see it. Look at turn 1. Is
that
the safety car?
Oh wait, is that? But I don't even know. I'm struggling to tell. It says virtual safety car, but that doesn't look like the safety car on the track.
It does to me.
And
yeah.
There's no one else it could be on the mini map. So
right.
I'm guessing it's about to change.
And they're pitting. It's got to be the safety car, hasn't it? Probably stays out. Oh, so Jack pits. Okay. So, this is interesting. Obviously, Lillian's had this perfect time in his safety car yet. So, that's... Well, Jack can pit then onto mediums, because they did that in the first race with the safety car in Lobby 1.
Let's see if they're coming up to the safety car. It is. Sorry, to interrupt, but we do see it's a safety car now on the track. So, they're all going to be bunched up, and that's definitely going to help those who just pitted, but those who didn't pit are now going to struggle.
I think the thing is, though, for people like Jack now, he's going to take those medium tyres, 23 laps. I think it's possible.
Oh, that's very true.
But it's a difficult one. I think it's either going to work heavily for Jack or it's not going to work at all. It's one of the two. And people like Lillian is in such a good position.
Yep.
Because his hards will easily get to the end now. So he's, that safety car really helped him. At one point you're thinking, he's on these softs, he's going to drop back, he's going to be under an issue. But now, net P2 ahead of Left Id and Zerky. and he's on the better tyres compared to Jack. So, yeah, this could be a possible win for Lillian if he can time it correctly with the overtaking and stay behind Jack with the DRS. So, yeah, so he changed hands heavily. And Zerky as well. Wasn't he like P19 at the start?
Yeah, he was right at the back. So he's also
He's
really
then at P4.
capitalised of that. Wow, yeah, I'm surprised Flores Wages. I guess if they're starting on the hards, it's going to be difficult to
They'll put
stretch the
down
mediums.
surely.
But for Lillian, this is Lillian and left. This is a monumental stroke of luck, and it's really putting them in the prime position.
Oh, no.
They're not pitting; they are staying out. So they're going to have to just, I don't know, maybe hope for another safety car because I don't really see what much more they can do. I'm surprised they didn't pit, to be honest.
I thought there was a. We'll find out if there is a maximum of 3 because we have 3 safety cars. If we get another one, then obviously the thing I heard about there being a maximum amount isn't true. And if we don't get any more, then it might not be.
So we win both ways.
Might not. Yeah, either way, one of us will win. So yeah, it's a difficult situation. And Lillian left it a fight in. And I think they're going to be careful with one of them getting illegal overtakes. That's the issue they've got.
That's
under
true.
The safety car.
That's true.
Yeah, the top 5 net is Jack West, Lillian, Left, Zerky, and Mikolai, which was not the top 5 at all at the start of the race. The top 5 at the start was, Keldorn, Jack, Lillian, Flourish, Tamash. And Keldorn's also put himself up into, he hasn't pitted, has he? No, he had to do the drive-through. Yeah, so he hasn't pitted. He's done the drive-through. So he's now not under as much of an issue as he was at the start, at least.
I'm surprised he didn't pit, to be honest. I think the hards.
I don't think he needed to.
But I think now is the strategy time. That now is the time to pit. He's going to have to pit at some point within the next few laps. So I'm surprised he didn't. But we do have the safety car in this lap. Flores Wages will get us underway on 13 lap old hards. So you can see he stopped there. Yeah. So those guys, the top 4, are going to have to stop again. So that's going to impact them later into this race, for sure, because they're not going to be able to keep with the pack, I don't think. But yeah, we'll see what happens. There might be another safety car, there might not. If there's a limit, obviously we won't. But we'll see as we do get underway. Flores Wide is just weaving on the banked corner, waiting to get away. We're on board with Thomas Gale, so we can really see when he's going. Thomas Gale is ready. As Flores looks like he's about to go, and he does go, right as Thomas had to brake because he was alongside. So Thomas Gale not really getting a good enough run as he probably would have wanted. Behind we have Alexander Dimas as well trying to go around the outside of Asia, as we're not seeing that. But Jack West on those fresh mediums has gone around the outside of, I think, 3 cars into turn 1. So a monumental move by Jack West there, going into P4. We do have a car round, I think that was Aljat. Losing a position, Jack West now gets into P3. What a restart for Jack West. As he's already into P3. These tyres do have to last though, so he can't push too hard. But definitely the restart that Jack West would have wanted.
Yeah, aim to turn 9. Obviously, you got Flourish and Tamash fighting as well. Obviously, these are going to pit, so this is perfect for Jack. He's just got to get through on them and pull that gap. If Lillian's stuck behind these guys, this is going to give Jack West a monumental lead at the lap 15 and 36. Obviously, Jack can take these to the ends. Flourish, Tamash, Benson, Alexander have got to pit again. As we come through now, you can see Jack a lot quicker than these guys. He made 4 positions in a half a lap now. He's going to surely get these 2, hopefully down to turn 1. He comes through turn 13, then he comes through where he lines like up the inside of... that was close.
Has he got damage?
The contact, that was a close one.
I thought it was
No,
for
he
debris,
didn't.
but he doesn't. Thank goodness. But that has cost
a very
him.
Scary one.
Yeah, he tried to go on the exit. He had so much more traction, but I don't think the car really wanted to do it, or he just wasn't left that just a bit of enough space. Anyway, behind Lillian also gaining positions. I think Jack West has just lagged behind into P5.
Is he left the session? Looks like he left the session or something. He ghosted.
Does look a bit like an AI driving. Yeah.
Oh, this is an AI, isn't it?
Oh no. Oh no.
This is not good because cars will have to try and get the way through in an AI, which isn't ideal. Look at them all trying to fight through on the Red Bull. Oh!
Did he just rejoin, I think, at the wrong time and just push someone off?
Yeah, because Alex has gone off. Alexander Dimas down to 15.
Oh my goodness, someone else has gone off. I think it was Left. Left has gone off. Left was looking really strong on the strategy. I don't think he has a front wing. Oh no, he does. I don't know what's happened. It's gone crazy.
Oh, Jack West has spun as well.
Oh no.
So Jack West is now then at 15th. He's AI that spun. Because look, it's just not moving. Oh, is it
I'm not
because
even
the
sure
safety
what's going
car?
on. Will he get disqualified if he doesn't move? Oh, it doesn't matter. I think that is him
Probably does
driving, though.
move.
Well, I'll look at the telemetry.
Can't be, because I'm looking at the telemetry and the inputs are not Jack
Oh, okay.
West inputs. So
Okay.
we head down the straight. Lillian now is in the position of a perfect charge for a win. He's now into
Oh.
turn 1 and Tamas Gal breaks later. Oh, and it hits a back and Flores Wise. Rear locks, gets himself through. Tamas going to try and fight back through turn 2. Can't do so. So now Lillian's got to get himself through on Flores Wires. There's also Zerky going to be looking to gain as Tamas Gal nearly takes Lillian out at turn 3. And now Lillian and Flores nearly going side by side out to turn 4, heading up in towards turn 6. And I think, yep, Jack West has got a 5-second penalty for speed in the pit lane.
I think he's going to retire. I can't see him carrying on. I think he's just had his race ruined by that internet issue, whatever it was. And,
oh, yeah. Oh, big
That's
shame.
unfortunate.
Big shame for the pole sitter.
Yeah, it's not what you want
Hey,
with the
Lillian.
game issues.
Just trying to get through on Floris. He's always got a way better line. Look at that. Just switch back Floris out at turn 10.
Beautiful
DRS.
switchback. Going towards the
Make it work
chicane, it's going to be difficult to overtake it. He does back out as he just chooses
Ooh.
to follow. And never mind, Forrest Richards goes wide and Lillian goes into P1. So the strategy working beautifully as Forrest Widgers is now into P2.
Zerky!
Ooh,
Zerky and
Zerky.
Dihar. They went through. Dihar closed in a bit. Zerky touched the back of touched the right rear tyre of Dihar and spun them both round. Andres Lopez, hang on, Andres Lopez is in third.
I don't. This is. Right, we're getting the position change up.
Crazy. This is absolutely crazy. So we've got Lillian leading from Flores Wise, who's got a pit. Then we've got Andres Lopez in third. So technically, the top 3 at the moment is Lillian, Andres, Jeremy.
Wow.
As we come through, Andres on the outside of Flores Wise. Obviously, these hard tires cannot defend at all. And yet Flores just tucks in behind. So now Andres looking for a P2. He's got to gain back onto Lillian to get that DRS advantage, which I think he will do easily with these mediums. But yeah, this race is changing dramatically.
Yeah, so Andre Lopez into P2, started P10. So a strategy masterclass, driving masterclass from Andre Lopez. Forrest Widgers is in P3 at the moment, but I expect he's going to lose more positions, and he's also still got a pit. So I think that'll be around lap 20, lap 21. Thomas Gal, I think, is in the same position.
And Ben Sabaconi as well. He's sitting behind Jeremy. Jeremy's right behind the back of Tamas Gal as they come out of turn 14. Now he line dike up towards turn 1. I think Jeremy might as well get both of them down to turn 1. They go 3 wide into turn 1. Jeremy gets through on Tamas and Flores to put himself into the podium position. But actually, Tamas is going to fight back on the outside. Can he fight back? No, he can't. So just lost that traction on the exit. And that was also Mikolai getting through on Leo Lund as well to put himself into the top 6. And now Ben Sabaconi dropping back, and then I think soon Mikolai and Leo will get straight through on Flourish and Tamas as they're going to drop back heavily as well with those old medium tyres. And now Andres Lopez, right on the back of Lillian within 4.5 tenths. So they're in a pretty prime position now for Andres just to sit behind Lillian, not push too hard, save those medium tyres, and just coast along and save that battery because he's on 14%. So he's had to use a lot of battery there to gain to the back of Lillian.
Yeah, what does interest me though is Andre Lopez is on the medium tyres. So those tyres are going to be absolutely horrible towards the end of this race. I don't even know if they are going to be able to last, but if they do, the wear will be horrible. It was the same with Jack West's situation a bit earlier. But they do have a gap, to be honest, to Jeremy. So if Andre Lopez can stick with Lillian just for now, to try and get as much time as he can, as Thomas Gal into the pits, Flores is into the pits as well. But if Andre Lopez can just get that gap, he might be able to live with the tyre wear enough to keep the position. So it's definitely something to keep in mind. But we do have the few who didn't pit earlier pitting now.
So, position change. Lillian 6, Andres 8, Jeremy 6, Mikolai 13, Leo Lund 14, Felipe 5, Coldorn 5, Dihar 6, Zerky 7. Up. That is absolutely mental. And Dihar's had 3 stops already. He's in P8. And look where that's put Flores. He's put him in P11. He's put Tamas in P10. They've got so much time to gain because they've got to gain 11 seconds on Zerky. And to be fair, 7 laps to 0 laps, there isn't that much of a horrifying difference between those 2 tyres. So, yeah, there's a lot of work for Tamas and Flores to do.
Yeah, interesting to note as well, Kodal has still not pitted in this race.
Still?
I don't believe so. There's no stops showing up at least. So he's still got a pit, which I'm really surprised that he hasn't, but I don't know. You do you, I guess. He's choosing to stay out. Yeah, so in the meantime, Jeremy Glynn sets the fastest lap of the race with a 1:11. So
as you come through into turn one, Felipe saves as well, having a pretty decent race. He's on 12 lap old hard, so they'll struggle to the end, I think, but I think they might just about do it because he pitted on lap 9. Oh, it's gonna be difficult. And Alexander Dimas takes the fastest lap, a 1:10.5. He's sitting down in.
Oh my goodness!
Position.
Alexander Dimas just went underneath Floris Weijers.
Oh,
that was amazing on stream. As he's just at the fastest lap.
What's happened to Floris?
I think he might have a connection issue. He's ghosted.
Yeah. Oh, so because surely we'll watch his inputs as he comes through towards turn 6. We'll be able to see if it's AI or not. He comes through. Yeah, that's not. Is it Floris or not? It's hard to tell, isn't it? I don't think it is. It can't be.
I'm gonna say no.
So, yeah, it's definitely not him. So Jack West has also had issues as well. This is really weird, isn't it? Floris and Jack.
Oh.
First and second,
Oh,
we'll say.
Floris is
both got
lagging like
connection
mad.
issues.
I think he's just
and that's-
reconnected, and he's very far behind now. He's at the back of the pack. Yeah,
Big shame, isn't it?
it's a real big shame. Dehar, I think, is about to retire as well. Yeah, he does.
So this race is turning into something. The top 3 is completely changed. Pole sitter's out after having a connection issue. The person in 15th was on second. He's also got an issue because look, it's saying he's 14 seconds ahead of Lefty because he's got the minus sign instead of the plus.
Yeah, this is not right.
No, it's interesting. It's odd. So yeah, not ideal at all for Floris. It's all. Let's hope he get. I think he's back because the car's not ghosted. Lefty's sitting in 13th. I'm not sure what happened to him. Did he have an issue on his lap? Because he's sitting all the way. Yeah, he's on 17 lap medium, so we must have pitted early on onto a set of mediums. And the top 3 have still got no issues. Lillian, Andres, and Jeremy. And Mikolai, he's sitting 3.2 seconds back, so he's not really trying to close this gap on any of these at all. He's sitting trying to defend from Leo and Felipe, who are right on the back of him as well on their hard tyres. As that's Spencer Baconio taking Alexander Dimas down into the chicane at turns 11 and 12. Yeah, it's pretty calm so far, I think, for now. I don't think we'll see much just yet. I think it's going to get better once we get into the closing stages of the race, and when we get to see those hard tyres at work. I mean, the new mediums at work. Because look, to be fair, Tamash has gained 9 seconds on Zerky in 3 laps. So,
yeah. I mean, look. To be fair, looking at the tyres, Kodor is still on 22 lap old hards. So maybe that hard to mediums, maybe they won't be horrible. Like in terms of like at the end. He's been on medium since the start. So maybe
those goes to softs, maybe.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, they lasted what, like 12 laps or so, 14 laps.
14 laps, I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's already in that window.
It's a shout, isn't it? It's a very close shout for Kodorn. And obviously he's 17 seconds back. Well, no, actually, it's about 17, 19 seconds back to Lefted, so we come out ahead of Lefted, I think.
Yeah.
And obviously with the soft tyres as well, he'd have more pace.
It'll be interesting to see his split as he crosses the line to see how much slower he is, though. Because if you've got Andre Lopez already on 11 lap old mediums, those need to go to the end of the race. That's another 12 laps. So that's about 23 laps. He's only 8/10 off, which is not as much as I expected.
12.8.
He's only 8/10 off his best lap.
Oh, but he's 2 seconds from Tamash Gal because Tamash did a 10.8 and Colton did a 12.8. And we'll see what other times people are doing. We'll see what Lefted's times are because he's on 18 lap old mediums.
Yeah.
As he comes out of turn 13 and 14, we'll see what time he can do on his tyres. Obviously, it was a 12.8 for Kodorn. Will Lefty be slower or quicker? He does a 12.4. So Lefty tyres. Oh, that's Leo Lund round. He's spun at turn 8. So that's not ideal. He's going to drop down the field now. Kodorn's going to get through on him.
Yeah, that's.
Leo's probably got to pit as well, hasn't he? He's got to take those tyres a lot longer than... Yeah, so he's going to have to pit again. I think Leo will, otherwise his tyres won't make the end.
Yeah, those are going to be horrible, especially after spinning. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Mistakes are, I guess, are really easy to make here. You know, a slight misjudgment can send you around.
Yeah, Ben Sabaconi ahead of Zerky. Zerky going to try and fight back into the chicane at turn 11. Can't do so, he sits back. Yeah, Zerky, I'm very confused why he's got absolutely no pace. He's just been eaten up. So Tamash has dropped him by 4 seconds. So on lap 21, I think it was, Tamash was about 10 seconds behind. On lap 25, he's 4 seconds ahead. Zerki's going to try and fight back Alexander down to turn 1. With the DRS obviously in the higher top speed. Alexander back up the inside.
Elbows out.
Bit of contact. Yeah. Elbows out heavily for Alexander.
Yeah, Zerky really trying to get the position back there. I mean, maybe he feels he can't keep up otherwise. Yeah, I don't know why, because he's I don't think his tyres are old. 12 laps, so they're not new, but they're not exactly old either. So he's struggling though.
I've been told in the chat, apparently, if he's not mistaken, Aljat is pronounced Elliot.
Oh, that's useful.
Apparently. Which, to be fair, because of how different the word looks, I'm just going to say Aljat for now, because I don't want to pronounce it completely wrong and look stupid.
That's a shout. I'll stick with you on that.
Because it's a very big difference, but it could be. I'm not saying that this person chat's wrong, but yeah, there's a very big difference between the words. Again, I'm not a language connoisseur. I don't know the differences between all the different, because obviously the one A's got a circle, the other one's got 2 dots. And we have Leon now in the pits. Felipe Sousa being overtaken by Mikola. I'm going to try and get his position back. Can't do so, so he sits behind as they come through into turn 3. And still, the top 3 staying the same. Lillian, Andres, Jeremy, all within 2 or 3 tenths of each other.
Yeah, so not too much going on at the moment. I don't think too much will happen in terms of that top 3 fight until we get closer to the end. Yeah, Leoland fitting on the softs. I guess that makes sense. Only 10 laps left. So he's gonna be quite quick in this last stint. So potentially still points up for grabs. He is only 6 seconds behind an already struggling Zerky, who has dropped 3 seconds to Alexander Dimas in the last lap or so. I wonder if he has some sort of like bodywork damage. Actually, yeah, if you look at the side of his car, it does look a little bit damaged. Zerky, especially on the right side, there seems to be floor damage, I think. Well, that might be the shape of the car. I'm not a aerodynamicist or anything. That could potentially be it.
Be blunt and just say I think it's just the fact he's got no pace. As we look at the top, and that's Lillian being overtaken.
To be fair,
by Andres Lopez.
Zerky is 2 tenths, or as Felipe Sousa gets into P4 from NowWiki. To be fair, Zerky was 2.2 seconds off his best lap last lap, which I'm assuming was on medium. So I have to assume that there's some sort of damage. Kodor is finally into the pits, changing his front wing as well. So maybe a damage that whole time onto the softs. As you said, we'll see where he comes out. It's going to be quite far behind Leoland. So Leo's back in the points.
Yeah, ahead of lefted by a mile. So we'll come out at P11. Ahead of lefted.
Points are still possible if he can really maximise his softs. But yeah, we'll have to see what happens.
Because Leoland's 1.4 seconds behind Zerkin, so we'll see him probably get through. And obviously, it seems Zerkin must have some sort of damage because he was 4 seconds off his previous best on the last lap, as Leo Lund there beats his personal best by 2 tenths in the first set, so goes purple in the first set. So these softs are doing dividends at the moment for Leo Lund as he tries to get back through on Zerky. He's 6 tenths back already. He's going to second in half a lap. But look at this here, already on the rear of Zerky. So 1.6 tenths of a second there on half a lap, gets himself through into P9. So now it's Kodorn's turn. He's got to gain 8 seconds on Zerky, so it's going to be a struggle, but it'll be more than possible if you can make it work. Now, back at the front, the gap's still about 2 or 3 tenths between them. Well, I think Jeremy went for a move on Lillian, didn't he, temporarily?
I saw him having a look. I did keep on switching just to make sure, but I don't think he was actually going for any sort of move. So just having a look. Leo Lund sets the fastest lap on those softs, as he is now within a second of Zerky. Yeah, 10.1. That's only like, what, 2 seconds off? 2 and a bit seconds off what we had in qualifying. So looking quite quick.
He is, definitely. As obviously Jeremy and Lillian, part of Vroom Racing, they're going to obviously be working together, I presume. They're probably in a voice channel together, obviously.
Possibly,
both teammates, so they'll be working together. I don't think they'll try and fight too hard. I think their main aim is probably to get both of them ahead of Andres Lopez, who's in the lead. Obviously, his medium tyres will start to die quicker than the hard tyres. So we might see that change, or we might just see Lillian and Jeremy get that boost over Andres near the end. I think it'll be about lap 33, 34 before we see that difference. I think for now it's pretty much equal, isn't it? As we head down to turn 1, gaining, he just sits behind for Lillian, so not eager on getting through just yet. He's looking further down. Kodorn, 4.2 seconds already to Zerky, so he's gaining very quickly, and lefties as well. also starting to gain as well on the back
Ooh.
of Zerky.
Jeremy's got very close to the back. I thought they might be about to make contact, but no, not quite. Yeah, Zerky obviously dropped the place to Leo Lund, still looking slow. Kodor looking like he's going to want to try and get the move done fairly soon as Zerky is weaving. I don't know what that is. Kodor sets the fastest lap at 110 flat. I believe as well, Mikolaj Nowicki is also in the battle with Felipe Sousa for P4. So that's definitely something to keep an eye out for. Left, I believe, is... Oh, not left. Who's the yellow car? Oh, that's Floris Wages AI, unfortunately. But yeah, so it's really the battle for first and the battle for fourth place at the moment to really look out for. Whether we'll see any moves yet, I don't know. A lot of people like to try and time it due to the DRS, but we do see Lillian going towards the outside, and he's made the position before the braking zone. So that is P1 now for Lillian, and Andre Lopez into P2, already under pressure from Jeremy, but Jeremy wasn't quite able to do anything from that turn 1. So that is Lillian, your new race leader, with only 6 laps to go, as we're on lap 30, heading toward the uphill section. So Lillian looking to try and be in the driving seat now.
Jeremy got a great exit at turn 4, nearly hits the back of Andres through that middle sector. I mean, through the middle of turn 6, sorry. Floris, he must be back because he just set the fastest lap of the race.
What a lap.
Oh, Jeremy went for a send, rear locked into the corner, but he does save it. But yeah, that was a close one.
That could have been bad. That could have been bad for sure.
Definitely.
Andre Lopez, though, just to keep an eye out on it, obviously he's going to be probably having the worst tyres at the moment with his really old mediums compared to the old hards. So we'll see if that really affects, his sort of driving. Obviously it's going to affect his driving, but like his ability to keep up with Lillian. Obviously now Lillian has been set free. I mean, it's already a 6/10 gap.
Yeah, Leo's on the back of Alexander Dimas already, so these soft tyres working very well for him. Obviously, Kodor and Ngola now also ahead of Zerky by 5 seconds, so that's worked really well for him. Leo going to be looking to probably try and get through as well, and I think that's a spin for someone. I think it might have been Zerky or
it was
Alshep maybe.
As Leo learned down the inside of Alexander Dimas in the bank corner. He's also got DRS, so a pretty brave move, and he's done it way before even the start of the straight. So well done to him. He can now potentially set his sights on Bence. He's got 5 laps. He's already made up 11 positions, so really well done to him. This is actually done really well.
Oh,
Floris retires in the pits.
Jeremy yet again at turn 9 sends it. Oh, it pushes Andres off track. Oh, that's a bit of a controversial one there, but he does get himself into P2. And now Lillian's dropped the 1 second. So if they're going to work together, Lillian and Jeremy, surely Lillian would slow down by the time they get down to the exit of turn 14, so Jeremy can get himself a hint of DRS.
I think that's going to happen. I think Lillian's just going to want to try and push now. Oh, it's close. The gap's close. Oh, maybe not then. It's around 1 second. I'm not sure what it was. He has got DRS. Ooh, oh no, that's Andre Lopez. No, he doesn't. He doesn't have DRS.
But he's gaining down that straight already 7.8 cents back. So looking to get his, well, I think Froome looking for a 1-2, which would be great considering where they started down in P7 and P10 it was, as that's Nowicki there trying to defend from Felipe Sousa. Obviously, Nowicki doing a great job to defend on those old hard tyres. Obviously, Felipe's on even older hard tyres. They're going to take those hard tyres for Felipe. 27 laps at the Grand Prix, and Mikolaj is going to take his for 24 laps. So those hard tyres are going to be dead by the end of this race as we head up now through towards turn 6 with these two. And I think Felipe is going to just try and get himself through. I think he's got a bit more pace to give, but he just can't make it work with the the nature of the track being very tight and twisty. You really struggle to make an overtake unless you get a really good exit out to turn 14 at Ari Lion Dyke. And Tamas Gal, he's actually, if he can gain enough, he's already 2.6 seconds back from Felipe, so he could also be looking to get himself a top 4 as well. So yeah, the strategy could be playing out quite well actually for Tamas and Bence.
Yeah. Yeah, so they're definitely looking good. I've just been distracted because I just learned that if you press T, it shows the telemetry. And that is really cool. Sorry, anyway, top 3 still are within each other because... Sorry, not within each other. They're within DRS of each other. as
Explain something completely different to F1, then I can assure you of that.
Yeah, I think I've started myself a bit here. No, they are within DRS of each other. Andre Lopez seems to be struggling though on those mediums that are a bit older than. Well, they're going to be harder to drive because of how old they are compared to the hards. So he's going to probably have to dump this battery. I'll press T so we can actually see the battery. It's going to be my new favourite thing.
Oh, who's that? Someone's gone round.
That is a McLaren. No, not McLaren, an orange.
This is an orange. One of about 5 oranges on track.
I think it was
The top
Zerky.
3 are all orange.
Zerky is just stuck in second gear, holding his
Leo
brake.
Lund, he's fighting heavily on Codon because instead of defending normally, he actually went off track to defend. He took the grass and took a nice.
Oh! Alexander Dimas has just drifted around. I think he locked the rears and just had no grip going into the hairpin there. So he's now out of the DRS of Leo Lund, at least it will be on the straight. So that's cost him that sort of P8. I mean, he's got 2 laps to try and make up for it. In the meantime, Felipe Sousa and now Wiki are fighting for P4. Nowicki trying to go for the switchback, but unable to do it.
Puncture.
Oh.
Lefty's got a puncture.
Oh. That's
no.
made him spin. Yeah, he's going to have no grip on that tyre. That's going to be absolutely horrible to handle.
Now, is this bad for Andres Lopez?
How old? Oh my goodness, he is really struggling. How old are his tyres? 28 laps. Andre Lopez is 21 laps, so I wouldn't say
It'll be 24 by the end.
Too much. That's
We'll
true.
see.
That's true.
It's an interesting one.
Andre Lopez is just going to be praying that he's still good. He is still in the DRS, to be fair, so he's actually doing really well, considering how old and how difficult his tyres are going to be to handle.
Yep. And so we also have Mikolai just trying to hold on to the back of Felipe Sousa. Then into turn 11 and 12. And that's, who's that round? I think that's lefted, isn't it? Again. Yeah, he's hit the wall, I think, this time. At turn 4. I think, has he got both rear tyres out? Or just the one? He peels into pits. So there's Jeremy and Lillian replace positions then at turn 1. I think that was more of a coordinated move, more than a bit of a battle for that position. And we also have Mikolai and Wiki getting ahead of Felipe Sousa again. So Lefty's out, puts us down just to 12 runners in the race. Obviously Zerky onto a brand new set of soft, so he's 40 seconds back from Lefted. So he'll slowly gain himself back ahead of the DNF car, which will be heading out of the pits soon, and it will park over normally at turn 2. Now, Felipe looking to gain heavily on the back of Mikolai. I don't think he can do it this time. No, he can't. But I think his main aim now for Felipe is to stick behind and then overtake down to turn 1 on the next lap. On the final lap takeover at turn 1. I think that's the best thing he can do. Otherwise, he'll just get re-overtaken again. So, yeah, he needs to wait until turn 1 for next lap. And that's Lillian as well. Still on the back of Jeremy. And do you think now, obviously these two have been working together all race, do you think they'll say, right, so last lap, just battle hard and see what happens?
I hope so.
They'll try and just stick this position?
I hope so. Well, I mean, if the case is that they're not coordinating, I think Lillian's just let him go so he can have the DRS now, because now is the perfect time to overtake. But we'll see that. We'll go on board with Lillian as we go on the straight for the penultimate time, and he's going to have a run. He's going to go down the inside, and he's got the position before the braking zone. Unless Jeremy can somehow get a good switchback and get a good run, but he's not going to be able to do it yet. So it all comes down to the rest of this lap. We are on the final lap of this social race. Jeremy Glynn trying to keep within the second of Lillian that he needs to try and just have the DRS in the second sector, and then in the third sector, if there's any chance that he can try and get the move done. I think he's got to more rely on Lillian making a mistake now, because it's going to be so difficult to try and get the overtake done if it's not into turn 1. So unless he can get a really good run out the final corner and try and do it on the finish line, we might even have a photo finish sort of thing. We'll have to see what happens, but Lillian looking so confident out there. He's already got 6 tenths, using all of his battery. They're both using all of their battery, but I don't think Jeremy's going to be close enough. He's only about 4 tenths behind, but I don't think it's going to be enough as we do approach the banked corner, the final corner for the final time. And from a master class strategy, Lillian has capitalised on safety cars, and he's going to let his teammate by, I think, or they're going to finish side by side, and Lillian wins the social race. Jeremy gets second, and what a finish from those two. Andre Lopez rounds off the podium in 3rd place, and that's going to be Mikolaj Nowicki coming in to take 4th, Felipe Sousa P5, Tamas Gal P6, Bence will come home to get P7, Alexander Dimas, I think, is fighting with Leo Lund on this final lap.
The DRS as well.
And Leo Lund's
close to the finish line. Oh,
it is very close. I think
It's
Leo
equal, isn't it?
8
thousandths of a second.
Oof. Yeah, I mean, I think Alexander was pushing off just a little bit there, so I think Leo deserved to have that. But that was a
But
good
what a
move
photo finish
out of the
on
final
same day.
corner. Yeah, of course, of course. Kodor, after getting a jump start, is going to take home to get a point, and limping home behind him, Zerky, with a damaged car. I'm going to have to assume on the soft tyres, is going to come across the line and be our last finisher. We'll get P12. He's somehow not overtaken Aljat just yet, but he is going to get P12, and he's done it now, and he is the final person to cross the line. But a lovely photo, a lovely finish there between the two teammates, Lillian and Jeremy.
Yeah, it was. It was a great way to end it for those two. Obviously, starting outside, I think Jeremy started just outside the top 10, Lillian started just inside the top 10. To take a 1-2 is something great, and they just made that strategy work heavily, as well as. Do you think we'll get any of them from an interview or not?
I don't think Lillian does. I think Lillian might only speak French, but I might be wrong on that.
So I don't. Yeah, because I don't have access to the chat, so I can't ask any of them for an interview.
Unless
you want to, it's up to you. I don't mind.
I might not, if that was alright.
That's fine. That's
I
fine.
think I just want to end it here. No, sorry, not in a bad way. Just like,
yeah,
it's a nice way to end it off. Well, there is your podium there. So those guys, I mean, it's really unlucky for those like Jack West and Flores. You know, whether it's by safety car, the game bugging, that for some reason you're not able to capitalize on anything, or you know, you just get unlucky with strategy. But Lillian is your winner today, followed by Jeremy, followed by Andrea Lopez, followed by Mika Laj, followed by Felipe Sousa, Tamas Gao, Bentz, Leo Lund, Alexander Dimas, Kodor, Zerky, Aljat left, Flores, and also Flores DNF'd, Dehar DNF'd, Jack West DNF'd, Primoz DNF'd, Miltos Karafalidis DNF'd, Noel Karma DNF'd, and Ben Marple DNF'd. Zerky got the fastest lap. Wow.
Yep.
With a well, maybe he didn't have damage stand, I'm not sure. But fair enough. Well done to him. I'll quickly go through the race director in case anyone's interested for whatever reason.
Yeah,
well,
thanks for having me along. It was
thank you so much for coming. You've really
short and sweet, but it was.
You've helped me dodge a bullet here. I don't know if I would have been able to do that by myself. Well,
but yeah, it's a great one.
Thank you guys all so much for attending this week. Do you know if we have any more social races potentially?
No, we don't, because the season starts next week.
Oh, that's a good point.
This time next Thursday, we'll be starting PSGL for round one, which I believe is at Brazil. I believe, if it's correct.
Wow. Well, that's going to be very entertaining. So whatever teams we're in, hopefully you guys can join us there. Yeah, thank you very much for watching, and we will see you when we see you.
Good night.
On the left-hand side, hooks the apex, gets on the power nicely, and that is job done. Jarno Walkmere now to the last couple of corners now. His finest drive, his greatest drive, and he's done it at the Circuit of the Americas. He returns to the top step of the podium. Once again, the ghost is back.